I'm sorry, I just get distracted by how much I love that song. Welcome to the Stretch Thin Podcast.
where we share our experience about and some encouragement as two men trying, not thriving in the 21st century. I'm Shannon, a pastor, coffee shop owner,
And I'm
and
Joel,
an
former
author.
pastor and tech professional now, and also author. All right, Shannon, let's do it.
Let's go.
So you told me you had your what was it? What do you call it? Conditioning day? Is that what you call it?
It's a
Functional fitness.
functional fitness
How did it
day.
go?
It was good. It, do I get maybe I don't know. Do you get annoyed? Well, you probably don't because you're in a CrossFit gym, but I struggle getting annoyed with the accessibility to the machines that I need in my or the space that I need in my progression. So on a functional fitness day, which is typically my Friday, I go to the it's called the Pit at our YMCA. It's performance intensity training, something like that. But they do like CrossFit classes in that area. But they have a smaller room that's called the studio or something, and it's you have weights, you have free weights, you have a rig, you have boxes for box jumps, you have a treadmill and a rowing machine and a bike, and like for the longest time, it was like the
Oh
best
no.
kept secret at the Y. Like no one knew that it was there, and now I go down there on Friday mornings, and I'm having to like do box jumps because there's this massive, like it's not CrossFit, but it's like a afterburn class that's happening out in the larger room. So I can't go out there, but there's wide open space to be able to do what I need to do. So I go into the little studio room, but there was like six people in there today, and six people is a crowd in that space. And I'm like, I just want to just work out,
People get out
and
of
I
my
want to
hair.
not
I just want to work my shift. Yeah.
live
How
right,
dare
live for the
they
old man,
try
you
to be
know?
fit and care about their health? How dare they?
It's even worse when I go up to the main floor where there's all the machines, and I'm like I've got my progression of what I want to go, what's next and what's next, and I go to the pull downs, and oh, there's somebody there. So now I'm supposed to go over and do leg press. Well, there's someone there, and I have no filter at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just so sorry to all the people at the Y for being grumpy and crotchety because you are in my way and I can't get
I
to
mean,
my
it's
machines.
almost like if you just went to CrossFit gym, you wouldn't have to worry about that environment. I never,
Yeah,
never
I
did.
know. Some days,
Well,
man,
next
some days I
week,
miss it so bad.
we're gonna do it.
I'm low key nervous though. I'm nervous about getting
You'll
back
be
in for a wad. I haven't done a wad
you'll be
in
fine.
like
No, it's I think what's been fun about I mean, well, not fun. Today's workout was absolutely not fun. It was it was a open workout, which in if you don't know, CrossFit has this thing every year. Used to be a lot more popular, but it was a way for everyone in the world to see where they stood as far as how well they are, how fit they are. Used to be like back in the day, it used to be really, really, really good, really popular. Tons of people would do it, and tons to us is like 300, 400,000 people, which is still a lot. And you could see how you
yeah.
stood against them when it comes to and everyone would have to do the same workout. Would come out on Thursday. You'd have till Monday to get your score in, and you would then see how'd you do, and then you could even break it down by country, by region, by state, right? Like it could be everything, and it was really cool to just get to see where you were. And so the workouts themselves are always designed to the open workouts, which is what it is, a 3 week kind of thing. They're always designed to be very, 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 very hard, and like they're not workouts that you're gonna go, oh, this is my jam. Like it's actually designed to make you nearly pass out and throw up,
Push you.
and which is probably
Yeah.
making no one think that that's a good idea. But I mean, yeah. So this morning we did kind of like the workout was one of the workouts from the Open in 2021, and it was just rough. It was just a lot of front squats and thrusters, and toes to bar, pull ups, and muscle ups, and you just like had to go. But what was cool was, even though I ripped on my hand, which is fine. I'm just putting bag balm on and wearing an old sock. But what was cool was someone asked like, "Hey, do you think did you do better than you did in 21?" And I was like, "Well, actually, I never did that one because I couldn't even do muscle ups, and I'm pretty sure I was moving. So even if I did, I don't remember, I wouldn't have gone that far in the workout because also I wouldn't have been able to do the weight that well, move it that well. So that was kind of cool to be able to say, okay, yeah, like I mean, it was really hard, but then the cool thing about CrossFit is everyone could in some way do that workout, just scaled and changed but they could still get the same effort and work from it, which is what I like about CrossFit. Back to you talk about like dropping in for a WOD. Like the cool thing is you can just go and someone will say, okay, instead of doing this weight, you do this weight, or instead of doing muscle ups, you do pull ups with a band or jumping pull ups, right? And it's geared to be hard, but hard for you, not unrealistic. And so that's what I like
True.
about it. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying about being nervous next week.
When do the workouts for the open start? Because
I
this is
think it
that
should
time of year.
be
So
next
are
week.
you
I think so.
yeah, so it's three Fridays,
Yeah.
3 or 4
And
Fridays.
then you put your scores in and see how you do. I no,
See if
well,
you get to go to
I
the
know that they
games.
like use the top scores before to invite people. It used to be a bigger deal to invite people. I think they still kind of do it, but I'm not. I am what I call a very above average CrossFitter. Not meaning like I'm highly above average, but I'm just like a very decent above average CrossFitter.
So
No,
you're
I'm
not
not.
Rich Froning
I'm
then.
not him. I am not any of these younger guys. I'm not the last guy who won the games, who actually lives in our area, which is kind of crazy. His name's Jason Hopper. He played for Clemson, then started doing CrossFit, won the games last year, and lives in this area because Clemson, South Carolina.
Beasts, man. I'm telling you, they are
It's
beasts,
insane.
those
Man, I will
CrossFitters.
say, and you're joking about being older, but I will say the fact that you're taking care of yourself. I was talking to another dad about this today, about knowing people that have kids, but they're like they're older people with young kids, and thinking about when they're whatever they'll be 50 something, right, or something like that. And to most people, yes, if they're not taking care of themselves, 50 is old. To people who are taking care of themselves, it's not. And it's like a huge difference between the people who actually are taking care of themselves and being good about it. 50 is not old. And I see a lot of 50-year-olds in our gym that are just like just as fit, you know?
It's funny because I was thinking about the fact that we've got this trip coming up, and I was thinking you're what, you're
35.
30, 35, yeah. And so I was thinking when I was 35 and remembering that my boss at the time was like in his mid to late 40s, and I was like, well, like he's old, he's older, and feeling like such this gap. And here I'm cracking up that here I'm going to be with you and another 30 something year old, and I'm like, I feel like mentally I
Exactly.
feel 35, like, and physically I don't feel old. I have, you know, issues, I think, but
Right.
35-year-olds have issues, and so it's not necessarily age indicative, but yeah, I've never truly
Hmm.
so far felt old. Now, I turned 51 in a week, a little over a week, and so it
You
may all
don't, that's the
change,
thing. You don't look
but
50.
I don't feel fit. I don't feel 50. I don't feel 50, which
So
I'm
then
thankful
what
for.
was
I'm thankful
for
for.
this week, what was your good? Also, if you're just
Um,
listening to this podcast, how we structure this is we talk about what the good and bad was this week. We talk about wins, which I have a lot of from people. I did better about actually texting people way in advance. I have probably about 7 or 8, so I'm super stoked about it. Yeah.
whoa, man. Okay,
I
you're doing
I
a
am,
lot
but you
better than
should
I
hold
am
up your end
because
of the
I
bargain,
thought
which you're
about.
not, but it's really fun.
I need to. But I thought about it this morning at like 5 a.m. and I'm thinking all the people all the texts. They're going to be so mad at
I
me
just
if I
got a
text them at
blast, dude.
5
I
a.m.
just
and be
went
like, hey,
like
give
I
me your win.
copied and pasted the text thread, and I was just like boom, 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 boom. I mean, I sent out probably 10 or 12. So anyway, what was your good this week?
My good was uh, that I I think I'm actually coming to terms with what I need to do to like level out my sleep. And so my
Yeah.
sleep number hours wise is creeping back up to where I need to. I still haven't broken through the 7 hour threshold. Um, there was some days when it was really less than that, but I resigned myself to look, I've got this medicine that has been prescribed to me. I wasn't all that crazy about the way that it made me feel when I changed up the dosing of it. So I went back to the basics, how I started with it. And I've had two
Mhm.
nights of solid sleep, good, like restorative sleep. I'm still not necessarily going as long as I want to, but I feel like, okay,
Yeah.
I know what I need to do, and I'm just going to do that and just keep trying to see if I can stretch that number out and get longer amounts of sleep. So yeah, that's a win for
Well, you're
me.
good because the
Um,
win we talk about later.
good. That's my good. Sorry. Yeah, that's my. Thanks for helping the
You
old
know,
man
just
out
gotta help
there,
this old
Joel. I
man
almost.
can't think straight. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's my good. How
My
about your good? Tell
good,
me your good.
honestly, I think it was so you kind of know this because you and I talk a lot and you've walked with me through some interesting relationship changes recently, but I was reading a book that was given to me by or told to listen to or read by my counselor called The Let Them Theory. It's not I mean it's not groundbreaking. It's a book about essentially uh, releasing the expectation that you might have on other people. That's what it is. It's basically at its core, you can't expect grown-ups to act like grown-ups all the time, and you're not in control of their behavior. So you got to let them go in that sense. And so if they do things that you don't like or that hurt you, is to let them in the sense of that's like you can't change it. You can't change someone else's behavior. And then there's another component of let me respond better. Anyway, but it's hugely popular. It also helps that the person who wrote it's like a very popular author. So anyway, he was like, with this relationship that's changing and that used to be a lot closer, now is not. You need to read this book because you need to not take everything so personally in the changes. And I was like, that's a really good point. And for those who are believers listening or Christians listening to the podcast, like I said, Shannon is a pastor. I'm a former pastor. So in scripture, Romans 12 talks about living at peace as much as it depends on you with people, right? That which is essentially that what the book talks about. Like it's let them because it just what does depend on you to live at peace. That's all you got to worry about. Don't worry about their part of living at peace with you. Worry about yours. So processing that, thinking about that, and I thought, okay, I need to do, but I need to do a better job at being a good friend, not a pissy friend when I'm like, why are things like this? Why is it like that? Why is it like this? And rather just continuing to exist as a good friend in a good relationship. And because my tendency is to go, if someone pulls away or changes, then I'm like, all right, I only got so much energy and time in the day. You ain't getting it now. And it's something that I've had to work on. So this week, it felt like um, it was another moment where I was faced with an opportunity to do that, to be frustrated, to be pissy. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I am going to continue to exist in this friendship as much as it depends on me with peace and be kind, be gracious, be outgoing in the sense of, making sure that I'm saying, hope you have a wonderful day, bro, blah, blah, like all that kind of stuff. Like just being out there. Because I know that the tendency would be to be like, eh. And so that to me was a good because amidst of all the stuff that we've talked about that I wrestle with mental health and everything, like that was the good. Because I felt and it doesn't count as the win. The win will be something else. But it was a good moment for me to go, okay. And it felt peaceful. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it was good because it was an uplifting moment for me in that time. I don't let that make any sense.
Yeah, It makes tons of sense. And as you're talking, there's two mindsets that come to my mind, because that whole uh, pitfall that you're trying to avoid of the you're not this you're not getting from a relationship what you feel like that you need from that relationship. There is there's a mentality that I've identified, and I think I have a tendency to, or have had a tendency to be that way. And I just
Mm.
call it the find then mentality. And it's like, fine,
Right.
if you're going to
Exactly.
be that way, then I'm going to, block you off. And that really only ended up ever hurting me, because it was kind of like I'm shutting you out, and they're going about their happy-go-lucky life. And if they're not, relationally aware, they're not going to think anything of you're walling them out. And so I've also
Yeah.
had to kind of guard against that, because it's so easy to fall into that. But then to kind of parallel along with the let them mentality. I used to have this guy. His name was Gene. Gene was 25 years, 30 years older than me. Hey guys, he was yeah, I was in my 40s and he was in his 70s. And so he would come once a week to our cafe, and he would come and want to have coffee. And I was managing and working behind the bar, but I worked it out to where I could come out from behind the bar and sit with him for 15, 20 minutes, sometimes longer. He'd always bring
Oh,
like
that's
a
fun.
breakfast burrito from a fast food restaurant, and we'd sit and talk. And one day I was just whining to him about church folks, and just being so like, I don't understand why they do this, this, and this. And he just said to me, he said, "You have to lower the bar." And I said, "Okay, explain that to me." He said, "You have to be willing to lower the bar of expectation for people, because people are
Right.
always going to disappoint you. And there's always going to be someone who's going to come out and be like,
Mm.
just crash on you." And he said, if you lower the bar across the board and have less expectations of the world, and 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 be okay with that, then lowering the bar becomes a practice that's just like, it's the same as let them. It's like, okay, you know what? It's and
Right.
that's different than fine then. It's so much different than fine then. It's like, okay, I'm gonna let you work this out. I'm gonna let you have do what you're doing, but at the same time, I'm gonna do what I need to do that depends on me
Yeah.
to be friend and kind and relational as much as it's possible, to where it doesn't deplete me, and I'm not wasting effort and relational equity
Yeah.
on an empty in an empty
Oof.
place. So
So on the negative side, what was your bad?
um I had a reality check this week of my
Hmm.
time management. And or like, so if I could like show you my Google Calendar, it's, it's it looks like a Skittles factory. It is, because I have different things that I'm involved in, and so I color code the calendar. So like if it's personal or family, or if it's church related, or if it's business related, and it's all different colors. And I'm I'm so I had this disappointing reality check this week, that in April was opening day for our local, um, uh, minor league baseball team here in Chattanooga, the Chattanooga Lookouts. And they've just built a brand new stadium, beautiful stadium. We've been watching it along the interstate, watching it go up. And opening night is in April, and I was all geeked out to get to go. So excited to get to go, and we were able to land tickets for it,
That's
which was
yeah.
because it was already sold out. So we had, and um, so I'm all pumped about being able to go. And I realized that we've booked a trip to California, and we're coming back the night of opening night at the new stadium, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm so disappointed. And but I sat with like I've I'm just such a putz when it comes to managing my calendar, and so I really just kind of been like I've been so mad at myself. So I'm 24 hours into a new routine. We're gonna see how it
How is
goes.
it going, Mr. Hard like actual paper and pen planner?
I went, yeah. So I told you about this. I went to the office supply store and I bought a planner, like a planner, 8.5 by 11 notebook looking like planner, and it's got the week and it's got the month. And so I just sat and I like mapped out what I knew were my
Uh-huh.
regulars for the month of March, coming up in the month of March. And I color coded it so it corresponds with my computer because I still use my Google Calendar. And if I'm making an appointment with someone, I can go and put it on my phone. I just don't know why it's so hard for me to go pull up my phone and look and not double book. So I've created this this process where I have to physically engage with the
Mm-hmm.
appointments on my
I love
calendar
that.
weekly and nightly for the next day to where I see it. I'm engaging with it. And I've only had two appointments today, and one of them was our log on to do this, and one was at 10 o'clock this morning, and I didn't miss either one of them. So
You know, I have to commend you though, because that's a that's not easy. I mean, it's when so much of our lives are on the phone, it is difficult to separate that. Obviously, you're not in the sense of you're not just going to no phone, but knowing that you need to work in something and trying to be creative in a solution, I think is commendable because not everyone will do that. Some people might just lean into the, well, I'm just so busy. That's just what I've just got so much going on. It's gonna be a part of the collateral damage of the life that I'm living. Um, and that's not the case. So I'm honored to know that you were like, hey, I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna try. I'm just gonna try.
here's the deal. Here's the deal. I have an extreme condition case of FOMO and the thoughts of missing out because of my own failure to plan ticks me off so bad, makes me so mad at myself. And it's like, no, I'm not going to do it. So yeah, it's going to be, my wife was making fun of me last night because I bought the planner and I got the fine tip pen so I can write real tiny and I bought all this stuff. And then I bought a pack of highlighters so that my paper calendar coordinates with my Google calendar. And she walked in and she's like, "All right, hey girl, with all your colors and your color coding." I was
Funny,
like, "Shut up. This is
you
what's
went,
working for me."
in the age of Amazon, you went to a brick and mortar store to get a planner and get course effects there.
Because
You're
I
like, I
didn't
gotta
have
do it
time to
now.
wait, man. I didn't have time
You
on the
walk in there,
phone to
they're
wait.
like, sir, what are you doing? No one comes here anymore. I
Like, give me your planners. Give me your planners. Give me your highlighters and a fine
probably
point
gave that
pen. That's
person
what I need
something to
right
do
now.
that they never get, like I haven't gotten to do in a while, which is actually help a customer find something.
You're like,
What are you doing here?
what are you doing? Is this like school
Yeah,
supplies
you know
shopping
that
day for
Amazon
you?
exists, right, sir? Like, I just want the pens. I want the
I
fine
want it
tip pens,
now.
not the
I want it
ballpoint. I
now.
want the fine tip.
Yeah, right? Fine tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this waiting 2 days, the next day shipping. That's for the
Mm-mm-mm.
birds. I want it now. So,
Uh,
how about you?
the bad is a mixed bag because our van didn't have to have it. It's not major work, right? Our van works. It was just the door for the driver's side passenger or whatever, the sliding door on the driver's side wouldn't work. So then I had to take it multiple times to get it worked on, and they thought they fixed it, then they didn't fix it, and then I have to come back because I also have kids that we still take to school, and it's just the whole thing, right? And so Monday was supposed to be, all right, we got it. We figured it out. We have the part. We're good. And I'm like, all right, I can't stay here because I need to go home. I have calls. I need to grill because I'm trying to be good about my diet. I'm starting especially today. And so I was like, I can't stay there. But I know if I stay there, it will keep the fire under them to make it done quickly. Well, it takes them until like one or two. well, which is already, guys, come on, I dropped it off at 8. What's going on? Two, they go, okay, so we need another part, but we got your door to be fixed for now with a little bit of a workaround, but we'll have to get a part. Like, if nothing's going to happen, it's not going to break. We just need to get another part to button it all up and be done. And I was just so frustrated because it was just another time I have to go back to the mechanic. Another time that I either have to decide, am I staying there or am I getting an Uber, which they provide for, which is fine. I mean, they're spending so much money on Uber, but and I will say, because the guy I've worked with the same service guy, and they've been really nice about like getting me the nicer Ubers, like a premium or XL or whatever, because they kept giving me just like the basic one, and these people were terrible, terrible drivers. The cars smelled. They didn't drive well. It was just the worst. So at least the drivers I had on Monday were great, but it's just like and it feels. I think as a guy, you feel like defeated because you're going again. Like I have to go through this again, and it almost feels emasculating every time you have to like take your car to a dealership to get it fixed, and it doesn't get fixed. And there's this I feel like there's this expectation of what I should be able to do this or whatever, and you're going, man, okay, again, I have to go through all this, disrupt somewhat of the schedule, figure this out, and so it mentally really put me in a not a fun spot on Monday. Like I was just frustrated and just it was just all bad attitude. So
So I mean, your bad reminds me of more bads, but I don't want to like over. But Monday, I've got our van
remember you told me that.
at the mechanic all day. $1,600 later, I went in for two new tires to be replaced or put on, and an alignment, and they were like, "Oh, Mr. Greer, we can't align this because you've got this issue on the um, front part of your axle where the rubber bushings are like torn, and what's about to happen is that everything's about to go shooting up through the body of the car, and you'll be immobilized and the worst of the worst." And I'm
Right.
like, "Are you kidding me?" And they're like, "No, we're serious." And so yeah, $1,600 later, I got two new tires, freshly aligned, and a whole new like suspension system put in.
Yeah,
So
and I
maybe I
can't.
don't.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'm frustrated, but I also all of it's been free and covered by warranty. So I don't. It's none of it's like all of it. And I almost feel like if it was something I had to pay for, I could be more not mad. But I'm like so mad of the inconvenience, which is worse to me. Like, man, I got to get over myself for that. Okay, what was your win from the week? And remember, the win can be anything. It doesn't have to be like gym, family, life, faith. We can be anything, big or small.
I I feel like I'm gonna go with my planner, man. I'm gonna go with my planner because I'm pretty excited about it. I'm waiting for an appointment to like right in there
Just itching for someone to get on your calendar.
and be like, I'm not missing this. I'm putting it in there and it's going to be on and yeah, no, I feel like I've come to terms with the fact that yes, I am so tethered electronically and in so many ways, and this is one way that I'm gonna
Yeah.
take back my dependency on a device. I'm going to be a
Yep.
better manager of my time, and I feel like that was a one small leap for man, one giant
Nice.
leap for
Nice. I
mankind.
like that.
So
For me, this is so it's been hard to go to small group consistently together or even individual. It's just we've just had sick kids, issues going on. I've been traveling, and it's just been a whole mess. And Wednesday was coming around, and I was just like not wanting to go because Ed's been so difficult to get down for naps, for bedtime. It's just like in a terrible sleep regression. He's growing like a weed. He's teething. He was sick. It's just the nuts. And so I was just like, I would rather just stay home and not be in community. But Wednesday, I said, hey, Joanna, do you want to go? You want me to go? I think one of us needs to go. And she said, why don't you go just because that way I can help with them if something happens. And I said, all right. And so I went, and it was a really good time. And it was a reminder that being in communities is really good because at one point, they asked for what are your prayer requests, and I said, like, I'd like to just not be sick, like someone in my family not be sick. And having
Yeah.
them, like, a bunch of the parents are older, and they said, yeah, I mean, how old's Ed? And I said 1.5, and they're like, oh, yeah, I mean, they said, I don't know if there were spans of weeks where my kids, when they were that age, that weren't sick. It's just like, they're just always sick, and it's something and something and something. It's just a hard season. And it was really nice for me to have that. And so the win to me was I showed up when I didn't want to. And then as a result, it was helped my spirit in that moment be like, yeah, that's right. I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. Like, this is how it is. Um, so yeah.
I love it. No, nothing better than finding community and to know you're not
Yeah.
alone. Like that. Just
How about we should launch like a new segment called Funny Stories. And you just, like, if you got a funny story from the week. We don't have to now, but
no, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, because
I've
I'm
got
like,
one.
I've got them.
And we can start. Well, I
Tell
think we should
us.
do it. It's like we just, think of something funny that happened. But like this morning. So I love the movie Holes with Shia LaBeouf. Great movie, classic movie. And there's
Yep.
a scene in the movie where it's like a flashback to one of the main characters where she's having to dig holes, and her grandpa's making her dig holes, and it's this classic scene that's been used so many times as like a voice line or whatever. And it's where she's like, "I'm tired of this, Grandpa," and he goes, "Let's do it." And it's just this whole thing. So anyway, so I coach CrossFit. I only coach early mornings, 5:30, 6:30. And so I did 5:30, 6:30 Wednesday, 5:30 yesterday, 5:30, 6:30 today. And I woke up and I was just so tired because 4:30 comes and you're like, ugh. And I walked downstairs and I went,
Mm.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. And my wife, while she was like doing her eggs without missing a beat, just said, like, that's too damn. And it's just like, it's what I needed to help me get, okay.
You push
Right,
it
because
through
I
out
thought it
right
was
out
just
the
a
door.
perfect moment. So yeah, that's my funny story. So there you go. I'm stupid. Sorry.
Um. Well, so I don't know if
Ah,
this is. It's funny to me because this is not my world that I'm familiar with. But so we're launching this organization called the Oasis Center. It's involving the renovation of a building and talking to people about fundraising and what's the best way to fundraise. And they're like, well, you got to get in front of people, but to get in front of people, like it's really hard unless you get a warm
yep.
introduction. A cold call is really hard. And so someone advised me to why don't you create is some avenues on social media, whether it's your newsletter or utilizing Instagram or Facebook or even TikTok. And so like if you do some sort of like presence, establish a presence, and what just the encouragement was, don't just make
Got it.
it
Yeah.
a fundraising presence, but just a relatable presence, so that people are able to be like, hey, I think you need to meet this guy, and you need to hear this story, you need to be involved in it. So I've been posting on TikTok for since November, and I utilize Chat GPT to help me like know like what do I do, how do I set it up. So I've built a rhythm, and I try to do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and so Wednesday I post a post, just talking about on my way into work and I run into traffic detour, and then I get out, have to go across the river in our city, run into another roadblock, have to
Mm.
cross the river again. And so I post it. And Wednesday, I happen to like I open up TikTok and I look down, and my notifications on of like coming through is like
Wow.
99. And I'm like, what the heck? So so I go and I'm like, there's comments, and there's, the so and so's following, and so and so's following, and so and so's following, and I'm like, I don't know any of these people. Like this
Viral
is
with
this is
photos.
this is this is this is something. This is a bot doing something, and like literally, like every time now I'm opening it, like it's 10 more followers. It's 10 more followers. So I go back to Chat GPT and I'm like, all right, like how do I know that this is not like
Right.
am I being played scam? Because I don't want this somehow to be hijacked by, you know,
Such a thing
deviant
an old person would
bots
do,
that are going to
I
like
think.
tank the page and make it embarrassing. And so I'm like, how do I know if this is legit or not? And it's like, take a picture, take a screenshot of your analytics so we can see what's happening. We can easily tell if it's
Oh
for real.
no.
So I take a picture and I post it, and ChatGPT comes back and it's like, and it says, "Wow, Shannon, you've been picked up by the algorithm, and you are riding a wave." And it says like something like
Oh, that is
"cowabunga" or
just
something.
so cringe.
So I was with my kids at lunch today, and I was like, "Guys, listen, I don't really want to brag, but I just felt like I needed to go ahead and tell you that I'm kind of becoming an
You are famous.
influencer on TikTok, and
You should, you gotta change your lifestyle now if you're viral.
I'm telling you, I got to get sponsorships now, man, and like
Yeah. Well, here's the great thing. All those
giveaways.
followers on TikTok, once we finally start posting these episodes, you can start sending them this way. But on that end, let's
Give us some of your
all right, let's
responses there,
do this one.
mister,
This
with
one's
all of your ones, your
a
friends.
long one. Essentially, it's something having to do with work. So he works as like a program manager for a financial company, and they're having issues with the team that they're consulting with as for this financial company. So he said the win though for the week was spending about 7 hours after work one evening this week to scramble to put together 20-page document to consolidate all needed information, as well as proactively heading off some additional paths they may go. And he was able to get all of the required teams on the call the next morning to review in detail to address any concerns. And the client was so happy that they have all that they need and they allowed the project to move forward. And I think that one is super interesting, good to remember because, like, I mean, sometimes you can feel like all the work that you do to put out these fires and stuff, these fire drills have no impact. And then, like they're not really used the way that you thought they would be. So I love that. I love that he did something, he went above and beyond for work and it paid off in a way that helped him and helped the company. And I love it. I love that he did that.
Yeah.
His
Way to
name
go.
is
What's his
Jason.
name? Way to go,
Let's see.
Jason.
Another guy named Matt. He's waiting on a job offer, so he got the job. He's just waiting on the offer, and so it's been a week of anxiously waiting, but he feels like it's been a good week, and so the win is the he's waiting on the job offer. So all right,
Okay.
Jimmy
Congrats, man.
from Virginia is so he's a part of the bank that was merged with another bank, and he said honestly the win is surviving a second crazy week after a merger. So there you go. Uh,
Trying, not thriving.
exactly.
Surviving, not thriving. That's what
Amen.
we're all about.
Let's go, Paul. They actually, so small business owner, very small business owner, brought on one of their first like full-time people to help with their work, and he's already had good
Oh,
results,
wow.
and they're quality, and so like
A big
it's a
step.
huge
Yeah.
deal. Um, and then Brad does a lot of stuff with like holistic. They do holistic things, and he said he's really enjoying that this week. He got a lot of wins from the people that he works with. Just because I think that's kind of hard when you do a lot of stuff with that. It feels even as a small business owner too. You can feel like bringing someone on, or you know, you work with people, and more often than not, you feel like you get the losses from working with them, not the wins. And so it's always great when you're working with people and that happens. Here's
Yep.
some dad ones. This guy, like he said, he's starting to work out again. His name's Christian. He's been working out again. But the best one, which I thought was hilarious, was he did a solo day with the two boys at a trampoline park, and he said it was probably the hardest thing I've done all week. I love it,
Getting that
man.
cardio in.
Boys too. Like Ed, love. I gotta watch Ed, man. Half the time we're out front, he just wants to run into the street and like run. I mean, he does not walk into the street. Like, dude. But he's a boy. I have to remember that. Like, but,
Absolutely. Yeah, we're meant to take risks.
well,
Maybe
yeah.
not that much of a risk, but
Daniel, the one that we had maybe a few weeks ago, that was owns a coffee shop slash coffee roaster. He said he feels like he's been less paranoid this week, whereas his brain kind of lives in the worst case scenario. But he said the Lord's been helping him with that. That this week it felt like there was more peace.
good stuff.
Really cool dude. He answered back. His name's Dave. Um, this is cool. So he's really good at Olympic lifting. Works out at my gym. Incredible guy. But also he does some of his own Olympic training. But he said, yeah, like that was cool. I pushed through some hiccups and lifts. But the really cool win was I was able to work on some barbell stuff with my son, who's like he's not that old. He's maybe like 7 or so, like 7 or 8. And he said that was so rad. Like that's true. I
Man, you wait till Ed gets old enough for you to work out together,
Yeah.
brother. It's the coolest thing. My son's 15, and every once in a while he'll go with me to the gym, and we'll do the same exercise, same workout. But I don't know, dude. It's just the
I
coolest
cannot
thing to
wait.
be able to do that with your
I
kid.
cannot wait.
Yeah, you're
Another
gonna
guy
love
named
it.
Will. He said he also had a dad one, but also it was funny. He said he bought a new guitar, but really that he had all 5 kids by himself last night, and the whole bedtime routine went flawlessly. I'm jealous of that one because I have not had a flawless bedtime routine.
You know what? Yeah, you know what a
Bro,
win that would
come
be.
on. And those are the wins that I've got on my end. Do you have any on yours?
I don't. I'm a sorry podcast host, so I'm guilty. But next week
We should have a
I'll
contest to
have
see
some
who
wins
can
to
have
share.
more. But also, we're going to be recording the next episode in person.
And we're not going to be in the
Yeah,
same space.
we're going to be in the same space.
What?
We haven't seen each other since like 2 years ago when we met.
I know, right? I know. I
We're
forgot
looking at
what you
each
look
other right
like.
now. What you probably have forgotten is how tall I am. Everyone always forgets that. So I am a
You're a
giant of a
giant of
man.
a
So it's
man.
going to be funny when you're like, oh, wow.
I do remember. Yeah, I do remember that. Like, I look up to you, Joel. I look up
Oh
to
my
you.
gosh. All right. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, we're road tripping to Alabama as soon
Awesome.
as I hang up this call. We're loading up the car. Going to spend about 3 or 4 days with some friends and family in South Alabama and LA,
There you go. There
Lower
you go.
Alabama, and come back for a day. I'm here in Chattanooga for a day, and then
Boom.
off to the mountains to meet up with my stretch thin podcast host
Stop.
with the most
Well,
skill
everyone,
and
thanks for
talent.
listening. Like, subscribe, share it. Also, what we'll do too, as these episodes are already going to be out, we'll be making sure to include links to all of our stuff. So we'll have links to all of Shannon's things, whether it's his newsletter for Cups and Conversations, my Substack, our own personal Instagrams, all that kind of stuff. So you can follow us there. But thank you for even following us here and listening and watching. We hope that you have a good one. And hey, you're doing it. You may not be thriving, but you are still trying, and that is a big deal. And anything's a win. I mean, it's been crazy when I text people, "Hey, do you have a win?" And they're like, "What do you mean? Like in the gym or life?" Like, it can be anything. Anything is a win. Someone was like, "I don't have a win," and I said, "No, you have. You're telling me you did nothing this week that you weren't proud of?" And they were like, "Well," and then they had something, and that's the difference. I think too many men now do not have pride in anything that they really do, or most things that they do. And so the hope and the vision of this podcast is to remind men to take pride in the things that they do because they're amazingly made by the Lord. They have amazing potential, incredible potential to do awesome things, big and small. So there you go.
Mic drop on that,
I'll do
man.
that. That'll be my
Yes,
thing. I'll just every
absolutely.
time
Who we are.
I'll do little like sermonettes at the end. All
There you
right,
go.
y'all. Have a
There we
great
go.
one. Deuces.